Welcome to our channel, everyone. I hope everybody is doing great. Today we are going to speak about a topic which is very important to a lot of people who come to Canada and become permanent residents here or citizens in Canada, and they want to bring their partners to Canada. Today we're going to discuss about how you can do that application, who's eligible, who is not. So stay tuned with us and I'll be right back. Before we start with the video, I want to make sure that everybody understands that the information I'm going to provide in this video is solely for the purpose of knowledge only. This is not a legal advice and don't treat it as such. If you actually want to go to the application yourself, you should look at the canada.ca website and cic.gec.ca website. And in case if you are not really familiar with the processes, go speak to an immigration consultant. Let's find out if you're even eligible to become a sponsor. To become a sponsor, you need to be at least 18 years of age or older. If you are less than 18 years, you are not going to be able to do this application unless you turn 18. Second, you need to be a permanent resident of Canada or a Canadian citizen or a registered Indian. These are not the people who come from the country India. These are the people who lived in Canada way before this country was called Canada. They are called the Indians here and they're called native Canadian people, and they can also be a part of a sponsorship application. Then if you are a Canadian citizen who does not live in Canada at the moment, you can still do the sponsorship application, but you need to come back to Canada when the person you sponsored starts living here as a permanent resident. This is not the same story for a permanent resident. If you're a permanent resident of Canada but you're not living in Canada at the moment, you cannot do this application. You got to come back as a permanent resident in Canada and then you can do the sponsorship application. Next, you need to show that you are able to take care of the person you are sponsoring. There is no legal requirement of income or money in the bank for a sponsor unless the person you are sponsoring is a dependent children. Last is that as a sponsor, you are not receiving social assistance in Canada. If you are receiving money from the government in terms of social assistance, you cannot do the sponsorship application. So once you understand that you are eligible to become a sponsor, let's speak about the people who you can actually sponsor under this application. The first person you can sponsor is your spouse. A spouse is somebody you are legally married to and that person is over the age of 18. The marriage needs to be legal in the country where it happened as well as in Canada. If the marriage is only legal in the country where it happened but it's not legal in Canada, you are not going to be able to do this application. Then the next person you can also do the application for under this category is your common law partner. Common law partners are people who are not married but they have been in a relationship and living together for at least 1 year of time. Then we speak about conjugal partner. Those are people who are in a relationship but for whatever reasons they are not able to live together because maybe their country do not allow that kind of relationship. So those people can also be part of this application provided they have been in a relationship for over 1 year of time. Then if you have a dependent children or the partner you are going to sponsor under this application has dependent children, that person or that children can be a part of this application as well. To be eligible, the eligibility of the person you're going to sponsor is going to be determined by the following factors. The first is that the forms which they are required to fill out needs to have a lot of information about who they are, how their relationship with you is, and how do they prove that they're in a relationship with you. They also need to do a medical exam, even though it's an important point, even though under family clause, medical inadmissibility is not a bar, meaning that if the spouse or the partner you're actually sponsoring under this application has a medical problem and Canadian system or Canadian immigration says that if some person coming to Canada has that medical problem, cannot enter Canada, that bar does not apply if the person sponsoring is a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident and the person being sponsored has that medical problem. So it's a good news for everyone. The other thing is that the person who is being sponsored, if that person is not eligible to come to Canada because of other types of inadmissibility. For example, they are charged under serious criminality in the country, and Canada recognizes that crime as a serious crime. Then, regardless of even that person is your spouse or a common law partner, conjugal partner, or a dependent children, you would not be able to put that person on this application. Once you determine the eligibility for yourself as a sponsor and the person you're sponsoring, their eligibility is okay and they're not inadmissible because of any reasons, then you go on and to do the application process. To do the application process, you gotta go download the application package available on canada.ca that gives you the detail of exactly how you can do the application, what type of forms you're going to require to complete this application. So first get the application package, then you gotta go pay your application fees. In these situations, there are going to be two applications. One is your application for being a sponsor, and second is the application for the person you are being sponsored. In this situation, that person is going to be the primary applicant because they are applying to get the permanent residency in Canada. So both of these applications go hand in hand. Both of them would be submitted together. Both of them will be reviewed together. If one of them does not fulfill the criteria of the immigration officer looking at it, then the application will be rejected. The application fees you need to pay is for your sponsorship eligibility, and the application for permanent residency, and the application for permanent residency fees. I believe altogether it's going to come out to be about $1,050 plus whatever biometric fees is going to be there. Then you need to submit the application in paper. The information of where to submit this application is going to be in the application package itself. So once you download it, you will know exactly where to mail it. The next thing is processing times. I just checked on the website, and maybe because of COVID as well, but the processing time, it usually used to be around 6-7 months last year, but now at the moment the website is saying that the processing time for this sort of application is almost around 12 months. So that's a long period of time. I know some people who has done a similar application for their spouse in the meantime while they were waiting for the permanent residency application. They also applied for a visitor visa for their spouse, and in many occasions the immigration officers do end up granting that visa because dual purpose in applications like this is kind of justified. So now let's go on the website and check the document checklist of exactly what documents you're going to need to complete this application for a successful result. So what you see on your screen is the document checklist. It's the IMM 5533 document, and this is the document checklist for the sponsorship application. So we're going to go through with this application to see what kind of documents you're going to provide for this application. The first is your document checklist itself. So you got to make sure that you print this, mark whichever documents you are providing, and put this with the application. The second is the sponsorship application. So this is the application the person who's becoming a sponsor is going to fill, and there is an undertaking associated with it. So basically, the person you're bringing into Canada, you're going to be responsible for that person for a specific period of time. So you can actually check the undertaking time on the canada.ca website as well. But for the sponsorship applications for your spouse, it's usually 3 years. Application fees. So you got to make sure that you pay the fees and print the fee payment receipt and attach it with the application. Then we go the financial evaluation. This is only going to be required when the person you are sponsoring is a dependent children. If you're only sponsoring your wife or your husband or your common law partner or conjugal partner, you're not going to require the financial evaluation for. Then the class of application. This is basically, it is going to tell you that if you're living in Canada, if you're living outside Canada, and if you're living in Canada under family class. So all sort of situations over there. the generic application form. This is the form which is going to be filled by the primary applicant or the person who wants to apply for the permanent resident. The country specific document, for this you can go to this website over here, click on this link, and you will be able to see that if you're coming from a specific country and that Canada requires some sort of documentation from people only from that country. So you can check any specific requirement for your country and include that document along with this application. Then the additional family information, this must be filled properly, because Canada also, anytime you come to Canada as a permanent residence, they want to know about your family history to make sure that anybody who's in your family is not ineligible because of any serious reasons. Schedule A background declaration. This is for the primary applicant to fill, basically from the age of 18 or from the last 10 years, whichever comes first. So this is basically, you are going to tell them that you have been a student, or you've been working, or you've been unemployed for whatever amount of time and at what place. The relationship application, this is the section which both the primary applicant and sponsor needs to fill out. The relationship application information is basically you showing that if you're married, or you're in a common law relationship, or in a conjugal relationship, and you have sufficient proofs to establish the credibility of the relationship. Use of representative form, in case of you are actually getting somebody else to help you in filling out that application. It could be your friend who is not charging to do that application. It could be an immigration consultant, immigration lawyer who you're actually paying to do this application. Then the authority to release personal information. This is not a form. This is just you taking a checkbox saying that if you come to Canada, all of this information providing this application could be shared by IRCC with other government organizations which could use this information for future use. And then the supporting documents from the primary sponsor, or the person who's going to be a sponsor. The status in Canada could be a permanent resident, could be a Canadian citizen, or it could be a registered Indian. And if you're a Canadian citizen living in or outside Canada, then you have to select the appropriate sections. Previous relationship, if you are sponsoring, there are certain limitations of becoming a sponsor if you have been in other relationship before, depending upon how long you have been in that relationship. So this is the reason why this part of the application is there. Employment source of income, basically, again, if you are doing a family application and if you're only bringing your wife or your common law partner, you really do not need to fill this. But if you are actually getting a dependent children on that application, then the employment source and the source of income becomes important. The sponsored person, the primary applicant's identity documents. It could be birth certificates, driving license, it could be your passport. Civil status documents, basically, again, the relationship documents. Additional information, if you have children, you can fill this up. And then police clearance certificates. It's a device, and it's really a requirement that when you do this application, you have to get the police clearance certificate of the primary applicant, and anybody in the primary applicant's family who's over the age of 18 and is not a permanent resident or Canadian citizen of Canada needs to fill out or needs to get their police clearance certificates and apply or provide them with the application. Then you need to do 2 photos, and the requirements of the sizes of photo can be checked from this link over here. Medical examination, you do not need to get the medical examination done before the application, so you need to do the application, and when the immigration officer is ready to get you to do the medical examination, they're going to send you a mail saying that here is your medical number. You can go to a panel physician and get that medical certificate or medical examination complete and send the certificate back to them. Proof of relationship, again, same thing. Marriage certificates or any other documents which will show the legitimacy and validity of the marriage can be provided here. Again, some information about children, and that's almost about it over here. Then you the sponsor and the principal applicant can do their signatures. And make sure that you check mark every form which you are actually using in this document and the application package you are going to submit. Alright, so I hope this was good information for people who are looking for doing this application themselves. Again, at the end of the day, I want to tell you that I'm not an immigration consultant myself, but because I've been in this industry for quite some time, I have some good people who are doing this kind of work, and they will be able to help you properly do this application, because once, if it's not done properly, it could delay your spouse or your common law partner or conjugal partner to come to Canada for a very long time. So make sure that this application is completed properly, because otherwise the delays could be really long. If you need help with any of that, leave me a comment in the section down below on Facebook or on Instagram. I'll be more than happy to help you out. Again, if you like the content of the video, please hit the like button, because the Facebook algorithm would only show this video to other people if there are enough likes on the video. And if you want to subscribe to the channel and you want to see more videos of the similar type, please hit the notification bell as well, so that you can get the notification of any new videos. Thank you very much for watching, and have a very good day.